What's going on YouTube? This is Lito Diaz with quick trips and tips, and I'm gonna give you some quick tips for a quick trip to Lima, Peru. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna talk about is transportation, getting from the airport to the city of Peru itself or wherever you're staying. The best thing to do, honestly, is get in one of those private taxis that usually in other places are really, really expensive and they try to rip you off. But the thing is that in Peru, Uber is not allowed to go to the airport. So paying for one of those private taxis, one of those private shuttles, is actually pretty much the cheapest way to do it. It's about 60 soles, which comes out to be 18 bucks. Like, that's not bad at all. And for us, we went to Miraflores and it took about 35 minutes. So 18 bucks is, also at the airport, there's ATMs to take out money. Again, don't go to those exchange places because they're gonna charge you a commission. So it's better off to go to the ATM. For me, there was a $5.50 fee on my card, but that's just that one-time fee. You have enough cash to get around. Most places in Lima accept credit card or a Visa card, but there are a couple places that only accept cash, so definitely take out some cash. All right, so once you arrive to your destination, your Airbnb, getting around is pretty easy in Lima. I recommend using Uber over anything because it's super, super cheap. We took a 35-minute ride one time in Lima and it cost us the equivalent of $4 US. 35-minute ride for $4 US. The average price for a 10-minute ride, 12-minute ride, anywhere from $1 to $2. So we did have a couple of problems with connecting with Uber a couple of times. So what we did was, you know how you could price out how much it'll cost you to get to a destination? We would use that, go up to a taxi and bargain with them to see, to get pretty close to Uber's price. There are taxis everywhere and they're pretty intense and they're gonna be bothering you a lot in order for you to ride with them, but they are bargainable. So look up Uber, look up the price. If you want to if the taxi's right next to you, he's literally right there. I looked up Uber and they'd be like, all right, it's gonna cost me 6 soles with Uber. Are you gonna do it for 6 soles? And usually they say yes. All right, so my recommendation on where to stay is Miraflores. Yes, it's known to be the touristy area, but you're in walking distance from a lot of things. You're right next to La Comal, which is that mall that has that beautiful view of the ocean. You're next to the ocean if you want to go take some surfing lessons. And there's a lot of restaurants, bars, cafes, and even a couple of casinos that you could check out. Airbnb has plenty of places to stay in Miraflores and they're relatively cheap. All right, so what to do in Lima? There's actually lots to do in Lima. We were only there for 2 days, but I'm gonna give you some things that you could do in 2 days. There's more than enough things to do. We didn't get to do everything that we really wanted to do. I'm gonna start off with parasailing. I really wanted to go parasailing, but it was really cloudy out and it was not worth it to me to be parasailing in the clouds. You could go parasailing right there from La Comal. And again, if you stayed in Miraflores, it took us about 10 minutes to walk to La Comal. And you could rent or pay to go parasailing and it's the equivalent of $60 US. And I kind of forgot how long it is, but still 60 bucks to go parasailing, that's super cheap. So the next place you want to go is Plaza Mayor, which by the way, if you're gonna get some souvenirs, that's probably the place to get them because we had problems trying to find places in Miraflores and Narcomal and Barranco for souvenirs. So if you're gonna get some souvenirs, in Plaza Mayor, there's definitely a lot of souvenir shops. And again, super cheap. There's a lot of things to do in Plaza Mayor. So once you're in Plaza Mayor, which is a giant square that has, like the really important buildings. You could see the change of the guard. You could walk from right there from Plaza Mayor. You could walk to a lot of sites. One of them is Museo Larco, which is in walking distance right there from Plaza Mayor. That it's a museum. It's like a history museum of Lima, and it's mostly Inca relics. So also near Plaza Mayor in walking distance is La Catacumbas. It's a monastery that's over 300 years old. You pay $3, which is 10 soles. It's about $3 to go in. It's an hour-long tour. They tell you the entire history of the place, and the coolest part is when you go underneath the church, there's over 25,000 bodies buried underneath the church. You get to see the bones. You get to, walk where they walked, and most of the bodies are monks. So monks that were part of that church, part of that monastery that have died, they buried them underneath. And it's definitely worth it. So another thing you could do while you're at Plaza Mayor is visit Cerro San Cristobal, which is the highest point of Lima, Peru, and you get a 360 view of the entire city. And to get up there, it's only 6 soles, which is $1.83. You'll see these little tiny cars that only really fit 2 people in the back and the driver in the front. You go up to them and be like, listen, can you bring me to Cerro San Cristobal? And he's gonna probably charge you 10 to 15 soles. And you tell him, listen, I got 5 soles. And he's gonna bargain with you. We paid 6. The next thing you wanna check out is Huacapluclana. And I think I'm messing that up, but that's the old Inca pyramid. It costs 12 soles to get in, which is equivalent to $3.67. It's an hour-long tour. They tell you the history of the Inca pyramid, how they made it, and why, and all of that. It's definitely worth checking out. The next thing is the light water tunnel. We didn't get to do it. We weren't really that interested in doing it, but a lot of people do it when they go to Lima. So if that's something that interests you, that's something that you can do in Lima. So the next place is Kennedy Park. If you're staying in Miraflores, it's a short walk. It took us about 10 minutes from where we were staying. Again, you could take an Uber. It's not that expensive to get there. The great thing about Kennedy Park is that it has a whole bunch of restaurants. At night, it had a whole bunch of live music, again, restaurants, stores, and in the actual park itself, there's a whole bunch of food stalls set up. They set up little, what do you call that? Little stalls selling souvenirs. There's music. We went a couple of times, and on Saturday, I don't know what it was that they had like live music, and it was just a whole bunch of people dancing. It was pretty cool to watch. And what's even better is that the park is named Kennedy after John F. Kennedy. It's dedicated to John F. Kennedy. And if you love cats, the place has like over 100 cats that just roam around, friendly cats. Nobody really knows how they got there, but if you're an animal lover, that's a place that you could go and I guess go pet a cat. Next thing is checking out the district of Barranco. During the day, it's beautiful to walk around, lots of restaurants, lots of stores. One of the main, I guess, attractions is El Puente de los Suspiros, which, to be honest, is just a bridge. At night, Barranco, again, is kind of like Kennedy Park, that it just gets full of people, live music, food stalls with pinchos, desserts, all kinds of vendors. Barranco is definitely an awesome place to go, and one of the coolest restaurants that you could go to when you're in Lima is called Callao. It happens to be right there on the beach. We sat on the patio to my left. The water was hitting on the rocks right to my left. You can see the beautiful coastline with all the buildings light up. So Callao is definitely a place that you want to check out, and it happens to be in Barranco. So the last thing I'm going to recommend is if you happen to be there on a Saturday, you can check out the farmer's market at Parque Reducto. And again, it's really cheap. So if you happen to be there on a Saturday, definitely check Parque Reducto Farmers Market. So there's a couple of things that you definitely want to try before leaving Lima. Lima is actually becoming one of the places that is most known for their food. They have awesome food. Being right next to the ocean, they have awesome seafood. And the first thing you need to try is ceviche, and the best place to have it is at the restaurant La Rosa Nautica. It's on the ocean. It's a restaurant that's on the pier. You can see it from La Comal. You've probably seen it in a lot of pictures. Yes, it's I guess touristy, and it's kind of upscale. When you walk in there, you're thinking that you're gonna pay a lot. For a plate for us was, I think, 45 soles. So that came out to be like 12 bucks. The next thing you want to try is churros. Depending on where you get the churros, they have like 3 different types of fillings. One of it is dulce de leche, which is like a caramel type filling that Argentina is really well known for. Check out my Argentina video. Some white cream that I'm guessing is just like a sweet white cream. and a chocolate filling, like kind of like Nutella. Like any Spanish, South American country, their empanadas are great, and they're all over the place, and they're cheap, and they're really good. The next thing you want to try is sanguche, which is sandwich. It's basically a sandwich shop, and you'll see them all over the place. They'll say sanguche, and they're just different types of sandwiches, but they're really good. And Lima has a whole bunch of other things that you definitely want to try, but my last recommendation is Pisco Sours, is their known drink, alcoholic beverage. And again, you'll find them everywhere, and they are good, and they're strong, like really, really strong. My last tip is about water. Definitely buy water. And if you are scared, brush your teeth with bottled water. Do not drink water out of the faucets. A lot of people have gotten sick drinking the water there, so I wouldn't say that the water is good to go. The average price for a water bottle is 36 cents US, so yeah. All right, so that's it. Those are my quick tips for a quick trip to Lima. I'm pretty sure that there's a whole bunch of other things that you could do and try, but those are my quick tips for a quick trip to Lima. If you have any questions, ask me down below. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at Quick Trips and Tips. Check out my actual Lima video, which I'll put it up here, and I'll put it in the description down below. That way you could get a better reference of the things that I did and what to see and do in Lima. Thank you for watching and have a great day.